Hey, what's up guys? Before I start this video, I want to tell you guys about Pro Guides. Pro Guides is an insane program that teaches you guys secret tips, tons of new metas, insane building and editing tricks, and all of these come from professional Fortnite players. Players like Mongrel, players like the Denver guy, all kinds of amazing players, personalized learning, personalized coach, personalized statistics, all made for you, and it's all for free. How many times have you guys seen an amazing YouTuber or Fortnite player and thought to yourself, wow, I wonder how they do it? And then you realize that they play Claw and you go, okay, so maybe that's what I gotta do. And then you play Claw, and after a couple tries or hours of playing it, you realize that it's really not that easy, and maybe even your hands start getting hurt. Well, fortunately, there's a way to fix that. In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys exactly how to get the pain in your hands to go away when you're playing Claw. This will help you guys do it more consistently and do it for longer periods of time, which will allow you to learn it faster and make the process much easier on you and your hands. A lot of you guys give up on Claw just because of the pain that comes with it, but I promise that with the tips in this video, it will not hurt as much as before, and you'll be able to learn it much easier than ever before. Keep in mind that learning something doesn't just take time, but it can also be improved by seeing someone do it. So watch this video until the end, guys. I strongly suggest it. I spent a lot of time getting gameplay with Claw for you guys, adjusting the camera and everything, so you guys can actually watch how I Claw, and that will help you guys a lot with the way that you play. So before I get into the tips in this video and I start talking about how you guys can do my method to improve your Claw, make sure that you guys are watching this video all the way until the end and paying great attention to the controller cam and the gameplay that goes along with it. I promise it'll do you guys well in your journey to learning Claw. Now, a lot of you guys have asked me in the past how I play Claw. I don't put my pointer finger directly on the buttons and click them constantly. A lot of players that play Claw keep their pointer finger on the A, B, X, Y buttons all the time. And what this does is it makes their hands very tired very quickly. Now, it sounds a little weird to say that I don't use my pointer finger all the time, but I'm going to show you guys this right here in the Claw cam on the left side. If you guys take a closer look and compare it to what I'm doing in the game, you'll see that when I do things such as reloading, oftentimes I'll click a button with the pointing side of my pointer finger, and then I'll use the side of my pointer finger to click another button. What this does is it not only uses less movement in my finger, which makes the clicking of the buttons faster, but it also takes a lot of stress off of my finger because I'm using it for less movements. What this does is it makes it a lot easier for you guys to do Claw for an extended period of time, and it'll make it easier for you guys overall if you have pain or trouble when using Claw. If you guys pay close attention to it right now, my pointer finger isn't always on the buttons like I'm showing you. I like to change it from pressing right bumper to actually clicking the button. So a lot of times I'll take my pointer finger off of the ABXY buttons and use it to click the bumpers or even the trigger. Most of the time I use my middle finger to click the trigger, but I do use my pointer finger to click the bumper, and I never use my middle finger to do this. A lot of Claw players use their middle finger to click the trigger and the bumper. However, I always use my pointer finger to click the bumper and do not click the triggers at all with it. I mainly use the pointer finger to click bumpers and the ABXY buttons, and I like to switch between these to take the stress off of my finger, because putting your finger on the bumper instead of the ABXY buttons will take a lot of stress off, because that's a natural position of your hand, which the ergonomic design of the controller was made to adapt to. Now, another huge tip I have is to use auto run. A lot of times in my gameplay, if you guys pay attention to the bottom of my screen, you'll see that the little player auto run dash thingy is there. And that's because using auto run at times when you don't need to be running and holding your controller, you guys can use that time to let your hands rest and use that time to let your finger get a break from that constant stress that may be put on it when playing Claw. Once again, playing Claw when you're new to it is new for your hand, and a lot of times it can be uncomfortable just at the beginning. So getting past that pain that you feel in the beginning can make the learning process much easier a lot of times. So make sure that you guys are using auto run to your advantage and that you're making sure that you're always using this whenever you can, so that your hand gets a break from the stress of claw. Now, as you're watching me fight people and open and close doors and do things like that, take a look at the claw cam at the left. You'll see that I'm actually moving my pointer finger a lot in many different places. I'm not just keeping it over ABOXY as I mentioned before, and I'm giving it a lot of time to take breaks and do other things besides just being used to click those buttons. Now, there's a couple things that you also want to keep in mind as you're learning to play claw. Claw does take a while to get used to, just like playing with new paddles or a new controller or adapting to anything that's new. So don't think that it's going to be something that's super easy. Remember that it will take a couple days or even weeks for some people. So if you're really committed to getting good at Fortnite, stick through it and just wait. A lot of times the discomfort will be there in the beginning, but I promise that it will go away over time. For me, it took me almost a week and a couple days to get used to claw without feeling any pain. The only reason I stuck through it was because I knew a lot of good players that played claw, and I knew that if I wanted to get good at Fortnite, I'd have to start playing claw. Now, a lot of players that actually learn to play claw learn it naturally. That means that they never actually wanted to learn to play claw. They just naturally started doing it. The way this happens is they start playing really sweaty, or they start trying really hard in video games, and they'll realize that they need to click buttons faster and quicker to be able to have a faster reaction time. And what this does is a lot of times your mind will naturally start using that pointer finger, which is resting on the controller, to click the buttons. This is like your brain using something that you're not to get something that it wants, which is better results, which is technically what you want, even though I'm saying it's your brain. It's what you want, and you're subconsciously doing it with your hands without even realizing it. And if you guys ever find yourself doing this, pause while you're doing it and think of how you're holding your controller, because a lot of times when people do this, they do it completely naturally and they don't feel any pain in their hands whatsoever. So if you find yourself accidentally doing claw, hold your hand the exact same way that you're holding it while you're doing it, and just try to imitate what you're doing then next time when you're playing claw. This will help you guys play claw without pain the most natural way possible to you. It's not always easy to describe how to play the game, especially to someone that you can't see face to face. So a lot of times the easiest and best way to learn how to do something is to just learn how to do it yourself. And since claw is something that comes natural to a lot of people, just learn it from while your brain does it for you. This is probably the fastest way to learn it, besides watching someone play the game and learning from watching their claw cam, which is what I'm doing for you guys in this video. So I hope you guys liked the claw cam that I added in. It did take me a while to be able to figure out how I could do this without having any problems, and by being able to give you guys crystal clear gameplay with a good claw cam that works perfectly with the timing of the video. Now, the gameplay you're watching right now is me playing on NA West, and I normally play on NA East, so I'm playing on 60 to 80 ping, and it's some nice gameplay that shows you guys how I build and my aiming on claw. This will give you guys a good understanding of how claw actually does affect your ability to play well on controller. It gives you the ability to not only aim, shoot, and build at the same time, but it also gives you the ability to do things like jumping, taking out your pickaxe, editing, and much more. Playing claw on controller is absolutely necessary for anyone who's trying to be a top tier player, especially if they're going to be competing against PC players and other players who are really good at the game. Now, as we reach the end of this video, I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and if you guys did watch this until the end, comment YOUP, Y-O-U-P, in the comment section to let me know that you guys watched it till the end. And those of you that did, I appreciate you guys greatly. And just know that you guys know a lot more than anyone else who didn't watch this video all the way until the end, because there's a lot of small tips and really important things that I said to you guys that I didn't tell other people, so you know that you guys are ahead of the curve already. And once again, thank you guys so much for watching this all the way until the end. If you guys are still here, be sure to check me out on Twitter. I post a lot of things that I don't put on here, and a lot of funny things on there that you guys don't want to be missing out on. So be sure to check me out on Twitter at agrobeyond, AGGROBEYOND, and I hope you guys have a great day.